Hello and welcome to the 00720 podcast. In this podcast, we will discuss all things sports, social media, current events, politics, scandals, and anything your mind can place your mind to. Remember to keep in mind that this podcast should and will not necessarily reflect the guest and the host's personal views. Rather, our dialogue will be used as a discussion to further validate and or question a previous line of thinking. More of our dialogue can and maybe will shed light on new ways of thinking, and we hope to provoke more fruitful dialogue within certain communities. Hashtag the white community. In today's episode, we are discussing equal pay. According to the Equality and Human Rights Commission, equal pay means that men and women in the same employment performing equal work must receive equal pay. According to dictionary.com, equal pay is the right of a man or woman to receive the same pay as a person of the opposite sex doing the same work or similar work for the same purpose of similar employment. This being said, today I'm joined by a gender women's studies major, Alyssa Quintanilla. Alyssa is from San Fernando Valley and is currently studying at the University of California at Berkeley. She is half Mexican and Salvadoran. She states that she has been a feminist ever since she was little, and getting to know her, I kind of believe her. Lastly, in relation to me, Alyssa is one of my closest friends and was in my cohort for Casa Mora, which is a Latinx program, which enriches Latinx culture within a small hallway in the residence hall of UCB. I'm your host, Alex Rodriguez, and this is the 00720 podcast Equal Pay. Alyssa, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you're fine. How are you adjusting with the new year?
It's good. It's a lot of reading. 16 units, but
I think
we're good.
it would be cool to tell them what classes you are taking to validate what you're studying.
Okay. I am taking alternative sexual identities in contemporary American society for my gender and women's studies major, and I'm taking sociology 1 for my social welfare major. I'm taking Chicano history for fun. And I'm taking a sex ed seminar, and then Facing You, Facing Me, which is another seminar on race and race relations.
Cool, so we're going to get right into it. So this is my first podcast, so if you're watching, hello. How this podcast is going to be is obviously the same intro is going to be said every day, but I guess it's going to change, different topic. I'm going to really try to emphasize very big topics with people that have some sort of knowledge to that topic. So for this case, Alyssa is gender women's studies major, so she has read a lot of work in regards to a certain issue. At least I hope so. And she goes to one of the most best. My language, I love it. She goes to one of the most better. What's the better school?
One of the best.
One of the best. Probably better than where you go. So she is very knowledgeable on this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to separate it in 3 topics. And each topic, I'm going to give you some information. I'm going to give you some quotes. Maybe to spark into the conversation, and then you kind of tell me what you say about the quote. So, for example, the first topic is called ratings, because when I made this kind of script, big thing in the news was in the World Cup, the Women's World Cup, how they won back-to-back years, yet they're not receiving the same pay, and the whole justification on that was because of the ratings. Women bring less ratings down, which I'll tell you right now isn't the case. So I'm gonna, so let's get right into it. So according to that post, okay, so this is kind of some background knowledge just to kind of fuel the conversation. So according to that post, the president, which is President 45, was asked by reporters about the gender pay gap in soccer, which has been the spotlight as players demand equal pay from FIFA, which in and of itself has been corrupt, corporation has been corrupt, the international governing body of soccer and the U.S. Soccer Federation, and stated that women and men in soccer should be paid the same, but you've got to look at numbers. That's what the president said, ultimately, but you've got to look at numbers. However, according to Molly Levinson, which is a spokeswoman for the U.S. Women's national soccer team, players in their equal pay lawsuit, at this moment of tremendous pride for America, the sad equation remains all too clear, and Americans won't stand for it anymore. These athletes generate more revenue and garner higher TV ratings, but get paid less simply because they are a woman. Which, in essence, she's right. I validated the scores in the article posted on June 19th, which was even before they even started competing in the World Cup, because obviously, a lot of sports get a lot more traction once it gets to the big tournaments. This is even before the World Cup was in full swing. This is before the summer. CNBC affirmed that most people thought that was wrong. According to the audited financial statements from the U.S. Soccer Federation, according to Wall Street, women's soccer games actually generate $1.9 million more in revenue than men's game. I'm talking about national numbers. I'm not talking about club numbers, but this is national numbers, which is honestly pretty surprising considering if you check on Twitter, most men are like, women, what are they? They don't belong in sports. From 2016 to 2018, women's game generated approximately $50.8 million more revenue compared to $49.9 million for men's game. Although that isn't a huge kind of gap, there's still a gap in and of itself, and it ultimately says that women do make more. Thus, men are trash. They couldn't even qualify. Women get more ratings. They win more. They've won more World Cups than the men have. In the U.S., what's the difference in your opinion? Does that do anything with obviously social norms? Why can't women be in sports, and why can't women get paid even if they get more ratings? What's your whole take? Considering everything you've read, everything you've heard about, things you've experienced, you may continue. Maybe you want to start with space sports. Sorry, I'll let you talk.
I like those stats. They were nice. The revenue, is that like at a game, all the like services that are there?
No, so what people really shit talk about the women is they don't bring ratings, like viewers, like YouTube videos, like they describe like why can I get paid enough money as PewDiePie, but PewDiePie gets like a shit, he's like 100 million subs,
We don't stand PewDiePie, by the way.
So it's wait, why not? That's a whole different conversation.
We're looking.
Okay, so yeah, so that's their justification. They are saying that they don't bring enough viewers, they don't bring enough.
Yeah. Well, it's because of capitalism, period. Capitalism, I learned this last year in general studies. It's sexist, obviously, and racist and ableist, and the list goes on. But in capitalism, like, women don't get like the same like labor rights or just like social rights in general. I don't know what you want me to say to that. Like, I don't know. They hate to see women do big things, even like after we. And it's not just men when I say they. And we don't even look at the pay gap for non-binary people, by the way. Like after we won and how they were all like shitting on what's her name? Megan.
The soccer player?
Yeah.
The one with the pink hair?
Yeah.
I think her name is.
It starts with an R. I'm such a bad person.
Yeah.
Anyway, because she was dancing, and then like men and women and everybody was like shitting on her just for dancing. So imagine like her playing. They don't even want to see her dance. They want to see her play in like a big field. I don't know. It's a big thing. I refuse to believe that it's because women sports don't get as much attention.
Well, it facilitate this. So the whole argument, if you check on Twitter or just even everywhere, is that women don't deserve equal validation because they're not
watched as much.
They're not watched as much. No one cares about them. But that's wrong. Even the president said, like the quote I say, what did he say? Let me go back. He said they're simply just not pulling viewers. You gotta look at numbers. Look at the numbers and it's not there. So you've kind of spoken on kind of social almost norms in regards to what women are, like describing any profession, because this is just happening within because this is like very specific to sport, right? And I'm talking about like sports, but even in professional realms, women aren't seen as equal, even if they're kind of accomplishing a lot more, such as lawyers are like they're more profound, but they're getting paid less. So I guess my ultimate question is that what can you see kind of going forward, considering that these numbers aren't as public, right? It's like America loves to hide the truth, These numbers aren't as public. And what would you say to like an aspiring soccer player who is told that she isn't as good as boys, but you look at dominance like
that it's gonna be rough as fuck. Even like you just look at patterns of like women in the workforce and like everywhere, like they just don't last as long as men for the stupidest reasons, like the fact that women are the fact that people with uteruses are able to give birth, so then like employers won't want to take you for like a long-term position because there's always that like, okay, well she's gonna dip for a couple months if she gets pregnant, if they get pregnant, fuck. I think that over time the gap has gotten smaller. I think right now it's like Asian women I think are in the lead with the pay gap, like they get paid the most. And if I'm mistaken, then it's white women. I know it's for sure they're the top two. So if you have a low color to your skin, it's gonna be rough. You're gonna be expected to like work more and get paid less, and then pay more for products like that are necessary. But I don't know what to tell you. I have literally no control over a capitalist society. I have hope that like we're gonna elect some officials who are gonna do some good work and
Sorry.
yeah, but just keep pushing. I was told that. Never mind.
What?
No, because you were saying it like to somebody who is an aspiring like soccer player and is told that they're not gonna do as well as boys are. And that really fucks with you. What? It hurts. I mean, I wanted to be president, and I was told that I couldn't be president because only men could be president. This is when I was younger. And then like I'm still salty about that, you know, and I really regret it. You know, sometimes I wish I still had that hope, but then I'm like, fuck America, because we're trash.
You made up a good point. I didn't really think about, when I was making kind of this outline, diversity within even like the soccer team. You know, all love Alex Morgan, you know, she's a UC Berkeley alum, but, you know, they're all white women that won the World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, so for a nation that is a mixing pot of all the world, and the numbers are starting to show it, you know, it's not like you can't see that within the team. And although I think it kind of goes back to like early feminism, right? It was like white women seeking for like women rights, but then the brown and the black and everyone has a spot of color within them, like fuck you. So I think you should shed light on that too. I think it's a good point to make, and I think that moving forward, I feel like almost the culture is shifting towards soccer in the U.S. because soccer is not only not prioritized because we have other dominant sports like football, American football, and basketball, but now we put a lot more light on soccer, and I feel like it's a general notion that girls are better than boys in soccer now in the U.S. just because of their back-to-back World Cups. And even though they get equal pay, it's still like our boys are trash and American men are trash. I can list you 3 girl soccer players, but then one soccer player I can probably Christian Pulisic, you know, and he's doing horrible in Chelsea right now. So it's like that's my point validated. Like it took me someone to tell me like, oh, there's this white boy that's going to Europe because no European teams want Americans. Because Europe.
Can you blame them?
Right, and because Europe is dominating in soccer.
Okay.
But then women's soccer, they're winning back-to-back World Cups. Yeah. They're dominating the globe, while U.S. men can't even dominate the country. You know, within the soccer, like obviously. But
yeah,
that's a good point. We'll have to move on. But if you want to speak more about it, you can now. But you know, bring it up. So topic 2 is hypermasculinity. So according to Forbes, the U.S. men's national team is playing some of its worst soccer in almost 2 years since it failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup on that fateful night in Trinidad, and that's saying something. And I agree with them because Trinidad is fucking garbage at soccer. But I saw some tweets on Twitter, although men didn't qualify, they were bashing women's soccer, saying they're playing against plumbers and housewives, and then they lost to a under 15 FC Dallas squad, which I think was true. But you can't really put a lot of effort in a training camp, especially with 15-year-olds. If I'm a professional athlete and they tell me to go play against 15-year-olds, I'm not gonna go 100%. So because the under 15 team did beat the women's national team in a scrimmage, I don't think that validates anything because anyone can beat anyone in the scrimmage. It's the point of learning new things. And these 15-year-olds are probably going hard. Once more, probably because of their masculinity. So that's a different question. But here's my question: considering, according to Mr. Trump, that numbers are in favor of the women's team, why the hate towards women winning? Without giving me a basic answer that points right to sexism, I want to challenge you to look in the frame of males hating on the females' victories. Why can't males and anyone that's not playing soccer, that's not a woman, why can't males seem to commend female sports, and why is there a sense of male supremacy embedded within the constant jokes of sporting?
I don't. Men are trash. I don't know what it is about masculinity that is so fragile, but I think it has a lot to do with the way that like boys are raised and how they express themselves. Let me get comfortable. I mean, as from what I've seen, I can't speak to this personally. Okay, I'm sorry.
Apologizing for it.
Okay. It's like boys aren't allowed to like. They're just always assumed that they're right and that they should always be winning, and it's just this constant like competitive state among themselves and like every other gender, which is interesting because it's not like women and other people don't have that competitiveness in them. Like, I mean, as a woman, I'm most like inherently, I'm like constantly competing with other women, you know, which is so toxic. But I'm just saying. And then they let that like drive them, and then they like, I don't know what it is about women. Literally, I don't understand sexism. Like, it's like I don't comprehend it. Like, I don't know what. I don't get it. It's like we're literally people. I don't understand the difference. Just because I have ovaries, like I'm not entitled to like equal pay, or like I can't fucking play a sport without getting shit on. But yeah, it's just really fragile masculinity that doesn't like to see other people win, especially women, because we're supposed to be seen as like weaker and like less than, and like men are supposed to be saving us and helping. You know, they're supposed to be like, oh, here, I got you this opportunity so that you can step up. And so when we find that opportunity by ourselves and we're just walking up the ladder without any help from any man, they hate to see it.
Well, what's your whole stance on the logic of men are biologically stronger, right? And that's why certain sports, such as football, such as basketball, which are heavily contacted. So it's soccer. People always underemphasize how physical soccer is. Men always say because we are inherently or even biologically stronger, quote unquote. That's like a quote. I'm not saying it personally. Uh, it's funner to watch. I don't watch women's sports. They can't even dunk. All they do is layups, right? That's the whole criticism of the WNBA, because there's no excitement. They can shoot threes, but they can't even shoot too far because they're too weak to just, like, make it from a certain distance. And that's why people love Steph Curry, because Steph Curry can just fucking launch it across the field and make it, right? So what's your whole notion of women being physically weaker, which is why it sheds men away from watching women's sports, which creates more stigma towards it because women are deemed as less than in men in sports. Go.
I think they are, like, biologically. I think men have more muscle. Like, that's just it. But I mean, even in like last year, we were talking about trans people in sports and how people are transphobic, period, and they don't want to accept trans women into women's sports because they used to be a man, and so then they're like physically stronger. But the whole thing was like in professional sports, you're finding the best of the best in both genders, you know? So like you're finding women who have absolutely dominated their field and are like queens, and they're like super strong, and literally this is their career. Like they train just as much as men do. So I don't understand why, like, I don't understand what the argument is that, like, you shouldn't watch them. If they're going through the same process and, like, okay, I'm sorry, I can't launch the fucking basketball from the other side of the court, but show me somebody that can. It's, you know what? I think they're doing the same thing. Maybe not as often. You won't see a woman, like, launching that shit like Curry would, but that doesn't mean that she hasn't before, you know? So they just, like, emphasize on those moments that aren't there rather than the moments that are there, and then just stay on that, if that makes sense.
Okay. That's very well said. You said a lot of things within that, but I think what I got most out of it is the point, you kind of slept on it, but sports, no, because you didn't really continue from saying this. You said professional sports is just seeking the best of the best. It doesn't matter what you are. And I think most people don't see that. And I think that's why NFL, it's so frowned upon to be a female. My camera's not on me, sorry. It's so to be a woman, right? And when you have someone like Lloyd who's on a soccer team, she's kicking 40-yard field goals, and people are like, if she gets signed for a certain kicker, I'm gonna boycott the NFL. That came out yesterday. Lloyd's trying to be a professional kicker because I saw that girl boot like a 55-yarder and she made that shit. That's not easy. Even if it's practice, she still booted the fuck out of that football and made it right to the uprights, which isn't easy to do. So when people associate the NFL or even most sports as male, just male only, I think people don't really see that. I think it was meant for everybody, but coincidentally enough, it was just males and not. It's almost like a under-discovered norm that people don't really look at. So that's an interesting topic that you kind of brought about. So thank you for that. So moving on to the third topic, you're hitting on it. That's why I kind of wanted to stop you right in your tracks because the third topic is transgenderism and sports. So according to outsports.com, this continuing debate stems from the issues of fairness. Hear this out. So NCAA, according to General Sports, has this policy: a trans male, they're called FTM. I don't know if you knew that. A student athlete,
female to male.
Right, who is not taking testosterone-related gender transition may participate on a men's or a women's team. So a trans male may do both. FTM. A trans female, MTF, transgender student athlete who is not taking hormone treatments related to gender transition may not compete on a women's team. Why the difference? It's up to you. Why is there? What does it say about being a trans guy and trans girl, or just anything in between? Lastly, is it fair that a male that is taking hormone treatment is a state champion on their women's team? Does it go back to gender supremacy notion we examined and discussed in equal pay?
Okay. FTM means female to female. I mean, fuck. FTM means female to male. Okay, and so we're going to hold on to the notion that society thinks, and I mean scientifically, let's not emphasize the science part, but like it's there that men have like more muscle than women do. So, if you start off as a woman,
yes,
and you transition to a man.
What's that called again? Sorry, I got lost.
FTM, female to male.
Okay, female to male. FTM, yes. So female male. Sorry.
No.
Wait, I'm confused. You gotta actually explain this.
Okay. Women are weak, right? We're not as strong. Let's hold on to that.
No, I'm questioning what FTM is
Yeah, female to male. It's
Okay, so I was right.
Yeah,
okay.
It's if I decide to transition into a man. Okay.
Sorry.
So not much has changed biologically from a transition from female to male. Do you get me? I still have high estrogen levels. I mean, maybe I had surgery. But I mean, I'm not just gonna quickly develop my muscle mass because I am now a male. I wasn't born with it. I have to go through a process to get it. Does that make sense? So
yes,
the reason that trans males are allowed to compete in both women sports and male sports is because back in the day they were still women. So biologically, this is what society thinks. You're still a woman, you're still weak. You can call yourself a man. This is so toxic. I'm going to emphasize that. But deep down, you're still a woman. So it's
So does it go back to the gender supremacy thing? That the males, you can play our male sport, but you'll get dominated.
Yeah. So that's why. So men aren't intimidated because they think that they're playing against a woman. So they're yeah, fuck it. For shits and giggles, whatever, I'll kick your ass. That's what they're thinking, right? And then women, trans women are allowed to play other women as trans men are allowed to play women
and male
because they're on the same level according to transphobic societal then. You get me?
Wait, so I want to emphasize that FTM, which is
female to
male, they can play on both teams.
Yes.
This is all NCAA. I put this NCAA because we're in college. Both of us are in college.
Yeah.
But this is, I said it really fast, but this is a student athlete, FTM, who is not taking testosterone. So I want to emphasize that because what Alyssa said that men aren't intimidated because they're not taking testosterone, which is what can be used to match their kind of aggressiveness. You know, kind of like match their fierce, like match their.
It's not the testosterone isn't gonna be like, okay, like I'm taking a shot of testosterone now. I have a toxic masculinity mindset. It's like it's physical.
Oh,
so
physical,
like,
so yeah, that's
yeah.
what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
so,
the muscle part.
No, that you were saying it. So that's why I want to point out that the NCAA was like, yeah, you can play on both, but just don't take testosterone. You know?
Yeah.
So it's,
because then we're gonna start seeing you as like an actual man, which you're already an actual man if you feel it. And then men will be intimidated, or like women will also be intimidated. You get me? There's gonna be an imbalance.
Right. So, in your opinion, does it really go back to this gender supremacy notion? Because MTF, which is male to female, who is not taking hormone treatments related to gender transition, may not compete on a women's team. So they're like, you're a
male to if it's male to female, then the transphobes would say that you still. Well, I mean, biologically, you still have like the testosterone in you, which gives you like the muscle mass and everything.
Right.
And so then they're gonna say that you are. It's an unfair advantage because you have more testosterone than women do, than like cis women. There we go, cis women. So then it'd be like an unfair advantage because you would be like stronger. It's a.
What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, it's stupid. Letting trans people like not play a sport that they want. Apparently it's like a big debate. Which it blows my mind because I just feel like how much shittier can this country get? Like fuck, let trans people have their rights. Like they're people too. It's professional sports. I read on this last year with Olympic sports. And they, like the Olympic committee, I guess, has no way of testing, sorry, I interrupt myself a lot. What is the level of testosterone that will make you a man and that will make you a woman? You get me? I have testosterone in me. That's just science. But I have an extremely low level compared to, like, Alex. You know? So, and each person has, like, varying degrees. It's not like I have, like, one block, you know? And every woman has one block of testosterone in her. It's all varying degrees. So how are you supposed to test what is the right amount to consider them a man?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like there's no set limit, so you can't just say like, you know what, you only have like 0.85 a block, you can't play. Like it's just dumb. Like if you are a woman, then you're a woman, and if you're a man, you're a man, and if you're non-binary, then you're non-binary. Period.
Right. So I have one last question because we're running out of time. But what is your whole opinion? I saw this article on Twitter, and this is off the top of my brain. I can't really like.
I love Twitter.
Validate where I saw it, but it was like male to female transgender. They, because I don't know the pronouns. They.
Male to female. Okay.
They won like this boxing competition in all female. It was a female competition for boxing, right? Or not boxing, wrestling.
Okay.
And people were like, "Well, that person's a dude," you know. So it was like, no shit, you know. So what's your whole take on that? Because there's a lot of there to unpack, but you have a minute, so I'm gonna let you unpack that right now.
Okay. Well, people who are transitioning, like male to female, they'll be taking estrogen, which will make them like at a lower level. Like there's a bunch of different physical disadvantages to taking like estrogen like that versus somebody who naturally has estrogen in them. So when you're like competing, sometimes trans people are like at a disadvantage than like cis women. Like it was a fair fight. I don't know what to tell you. Like they're a woman, they're probably taking estrogen like treatments, and they're probably at a disadvantage having to take the shots. Imagine having to take a shot every day and then like feeling the
I didn't really think about that. I didn't know what to think about the situation just because, you know, that person had a high dose of testosterone, like you said, right? Just because they were a male. So everyone assumes that testosterone is still present, right?
Yeah, well, it's present in cis women too.
Right, but not to big levels.
Extent, yeah.
Right. So that's interesting. I didn't know about that. That actually cleared up my head a lot. Thank you for that. So, if you haven't noticed, so we had 3 topics. Each topic we spoke about for 10 minutes. I don't know if you realized you're speaking on it for 10 minutes. So, we're at 30 marks. So, hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I'll put a list of like Instagram down below. Because this is a very, very interesting topic that most people are very curious about. So, once more, this is general women's studies and social, what's the fuck about?
Welfare?
Yeah, welfare. I don't know. I was going to say policy. I don't know. Major at UC Berkeley. She's proud of being brown, and everything she said may or may not reflect what she personally feels, such as myself. I don't know if you want to expose that, light on that. If not, you're fine. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I will leave timestamps down below to see each topic. But yes, there are 3 topics. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is equal pay. In essence, I think women should get equal pay. I have a homily at the end. Leave my homily alone. You spoke too much. I'm just playing. Women and everyone should get equal pay in everything they do and all they do, no matter the color, race, obviously. So, yes, that's my whole notion. But yes, this is being your boy. Anything else to say, Alyssa? Dania? Thank you for coming out, actually. Because Alyssa knew nothing about what we're going to speak about. She kind of sat down in that chair, and I just kind of started going with the script. So, thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
It was a big pleasure to have you here. Thank you for enlightening me on your so beautiful knowledge of gender and all that. So, thank you. Any last words?
I probably butchered all of the arguments, and I'm so sorry if I accidentally said something that was ignorant. Drag me in the comments. Correct me. Call me out, please.
Yeah, I think this wasn't as fluid as I wanted to, but I think it was a good, nice pilot program to kind of start with. So you never know what might be next. I want to bring people that are actually expertise in the things we're going to talk about. I really want to speak about key issues like abortion. I want to talk about key issues like what happened?
No, I'd like to watch the abortion one.
Yeah, so I don't know who I'll bring that, but abortion, you have teachers' rights, just kind of throw out a few. So it should be a fun one. It should be a fun little series I have, and I want to see who I can get on the line. So this has been Alex. This is 00720 Podcast, Episode 1, Pilot. Thank you.